It's Friday again, and today I'm going to talk about the IT band and what to do to help pain that seems to come from the area of the IT band. So IT stands for iliotibial. So the IT band goes from the ilium, which is this part of the pelvis, down the side of the thigh and attaches into the tibia. So iliotibial band. And it's not a structure that is kind of a standalone structure. It's actually a thickening of the fascia that encases our entire thigh. So if you were to look up pictures of the IT band, you'll see this sort of strip down the outside of the thigh, but it's really a continuation of the supportive structure for the whole thigh. But it is very thickened on the outside of the thigh, and it provides support there. If you watched Jay's video a little while ago about gluteal tendinopathy, he also mentioned this structure as a culprit in some compression sometimes for the tendons that attach into the side of the hip. So you can have pain from the IT band either at the hip or at the knee, on the outside of the knee. And so a lot of people will do stretching of the IT band, which can give some temporary relief. But because the iliotibial band is a three-dimensional structure, only stretching is probably not going to be, it's not going to provide much in terms of permanent relief. So you want to complement any stretching or rolling or things like that for the IT band with usually glute strengthening, hamstring strengthening, and probably also some adductor flexibility and strength training. So I wanted to show you some of my favorite stretches for the IT band that do give at least some temporary relief. And also, because the IT band is attaching into musculature, it is important to stretch the surrounding musculature. So the first one I'll show you is really the most isolated of them all. So the IT band, because of how it attaches at the top of the hip and sort of the back side of the tibia, it's going to be on stretch when the leg is in this position. So the hip has to be extended and the knee flexed. So going to the side, and I'm going to lift the hip so I put a lot of slack here. I'm going to tuck the tail under so I can really pull the IT band across the side of my hip, and then I bring it back. Now I'm doing this without arching the back, so the back has to be stabilized. So I'm pretty tight on the outside of my thigh anyway, so I feel a stretch with this already. But if I was a glutton for punishment, I could put my heel up over the top. And when you do that, you're going to feel a shift in the stretch to the outside of the knee. And hold that for probably minimally about a minute if you can stand it. So another stretch that I like is a little bit more following the idea of how the IT band connects to the rest of the body. And that would be a stretch like this. So again, I have the knee flexed, the hip is extended, and now I'm going to take up some of the slack in the tissue above the ilium by reaching up and then bending over, and I can push the hip out. So I'm getting that three-dimensional stretch there. Okay, so then the next one that I like, adding more layers of dimensionality, we start here. So again, knee is flexed, the hip is extended. I'm going to lean forward so I can get off of my kneecap here, reach back, and twist like this. So now I'm getting into the front of the hip and across the abdomen. And this is where we really start to see how asymmetrical we are as humans. So you might not notice much difference between the sides with an isolated stretch, but when you start to add a lot more dimension to the stretch, you'll feel how that tightness actually links to tightness in other parts of the body. So those are three of my favorites. And probably at some point, maybe, Jay, we should do a video on our favorite glute training exercises. So thanks for joining us, and have a great weekend.